There are many tricks and techniques we can use for negotiating, and one of the tricks is having a clear cut understanding of what the other person needs. So basically, you have a lot of needs that you want to achieve through that negotiation. However, knowing that what is the need of the other person, why will he do or agree to certain things that I say, what is in it for him. If we do not understand that need, then I think it is very difficult to convince or persuade anybody to go with the thought process that you have. It's very simple, right? I mean, why will somebody take an action unless there is nothing for him? What is the benefit for him? So what is the need for him? So when I understood a little bit more about it when I was reading, so basically need can be many things, right? If you even see the Maslow's pyramid, the needs of people are many. I mean, from the bottom of the pyramid, where your physiological needs, your basic needs, to upper part of the pyramid, where your financials, and then loving needs, and then self-actualization needs, all of that. So people needs are varying and different based on different contexts. They may have certain need with their transaction. Maybe they want more money out of that, or maybe they want not the money but more of a self image or self belief, that kind of self actualization kind of a need, or it's just the basic need that they are trying to satisfy. What is the basic need that they are trying to satisfy with this transaction? That particular thing we need to know, and most often it could be financial one only. Whatever that is, we need to clearly understand, and unless we put forward our arguments or discussion and articulate in a way where it convinces in their point of view that this is what I am going to get it, then it becomes very difficult to convince or negotiate. So the moment we understand this, that whenever we go for certain things to get it done, and it may be very, very hard, thinking about what the other person needs and then tailoring our conversation and approach towards that, not just only ours but theirs also, then it becomes a collaborative effort for negotiation closure. Then when it becomes collaborative one and not a competitive one, because we are not trying to win here, right? We are not trying to win and make the other person lose. That won't be a good negotiation after all. As long as we are making it a win-win situation, a collaborative one where the other person also wins, and that happens only by thinking ahead what is the need that we can solve for him, then it becomes a winning proposition. So when I was reading a book, I think there are multiple dimensions to it, and if you really think about, each scenario can be different. There are multiple combinations that can happen. So it could be that the needs could be any of the 5, 6 or 7, whatever you consider in the Maslow's pyramid, be it basic needs, financial needs, loving needs, self-actualization needs, social needs, aesthetic needs, and all of that. This is 7 combinations, right? It could be for anything. And the second dimension is that you could be trying to convince one more person, or it could be a situation where 2 organizations are talking about it and you are trying to convince. So it could be any of such. That is the second dimension. And third dimension is that you are trying to make the other person win or lose. The third option is you can either make yourself win or lose. And the third dimension is you can either make yourself and the other person both win, or you can make yourself and the other person both lose from their point of view. So that, like that, there are 6 variations of it. Each negotiation criteria and the conditions and situation is different. So there are multiple ways of trying to negotiate. For example, these 6 conditions, there are 2 different ways in which you can either contributing to in negotiating with an organization or an individual. And also you are trying to contribute in a way to negotiate with meeting the needs in 7 different ways. Put this all together, there could be some 126 combinations, each one being different. So for example, taking one example, you could be trying to negotiate with an individual who wants to commit a suicide, for example. and you are trying to convince him or negotiate with him, telling that that's not the best way to go about and there is a life to live. And this is a situation where you are negotiating with one person, you are trying to communicate or negotiate in a way which is opposing his needs. Rather, his need is to commit a suicide, right? His goal is to commit a suicide, but we are trying to oppose that view by basic need, which is the living need, telling that this is good and this is not bad, the other thing is bad. And you are basically, in terms of the needs hierarchy, you are basically pointing towards the basic needs there. So this is one combination. There could be many other such combinations. So basically each negotiating scenario is different, but the long story short, all that we need to think about very quickly within a split second of time is, I'm going for a negotiation, I want to try to convince somebody, persuade somebody or whatever it is. What is that I'm trying to solve it for him? What is in it for him? What is his need for this conversation, for this transaction? So if you approach thinking a little bit calmly around that point, might help a little bit better in gearing that approach towards making it a collaborative effort for negotiation. There are